Founders Day is an extremely important day in the school calendar. It is a day when members of the Old Boys community meet to remember those who founded the school and who have developed the school into what it is today. We know a lot has changed over the past 157 years, but none more so than over the past year. In September last year, we opened a high-performance gym, which was very generously sponsored by DHS Old Boy Gavin Farigis. Gavin is the founder and president of South African Rugby Legends, and it is appropriate that the first team to train in the gym were the Springboks. It is thanks to Gavin's generosity, enthusiasm, and passion that we are able to open the state-of-the-art high-performance centre at DHS. Over the past 2 years, the demand for boarding at Blackmore increased, so much so that the DHS Foundation Trust funded the refurbishment of the old prep room and converted it into a new Grade 8 dorm. The dorm was opened in January 2023, prior to the start of the new term, and was named in honour of former Old Boy and former headmaster of Blackmore, Sass North. The much anticipated DHS Astro was finally unveiled on February the 17th, 2023. After being a construction site for nearly 18 months, this day will go down in the annals of the school's history. It was immediately apparent that the project would be a difficult one. The classroom needed to be demolished, and the major obstacle was how to move the existing substation. What lay ahead in the months to come could not be anticipated. Durban was rocked by the devastating floods in April, forcing the project to be put on hold for the next 5 months. However, in October last year, the heavy artillery arrived. The ground was leveled and the AstroTurf became a reality. Thanks to the DHS Foundation, Moristella, and Trillidor, DHS, after many years, finally has its own blue and gold AstroTurf. Building an Old Boys pavilion was a personal project for me. Sadly, the DHS Old Boys Club was sold a while back. It was an historical meeting place for Old Boys and friends alike, and I was determined to resurrect the Old Boys Club. Like the Old Boys Club did in the 1950s, they raised the money themselves, and with the support from the DHS Old Boys Memorial Trust, they bought land and built a club. Nearly 70 years later, the Old Boys did the same. Through the support and the generosity of many DHS Old Boys, the DHS Foundation, we managed to build a new home for the Old Boys. I'd like to make mention of Jonathan Zolman, Marcus Boyner, and Clint Grobler, who stuck with me through my persistence in getting the facility built. Old Boys now have a spectacular new venue that overlooks both the main field and the AstroTurf at DHS. Can any other school offer their Old Boys a better view of its sporting facilities than the Memorial Pavilion, built by the Old Boys, for the Old Boys, in memory of the Old Boys? The Cambridge Academy was opened in 2017 in the old science block. It was extended in 2018, but over the past couple of years, it has become apparent that the Cambridge Academy could no longer keep up with the increased demand for its services. Once again, thanks to the generosity of the DHS Foundation Trust and the Victor Dates Foundation, an entirely new floor is to be built on the old science block to cater for the upsurge in popularity. Construction has recently begun, and I look forward to updating you next year on this project. The DHS Foundation Trust is dependent on its Old Boys for support. None of these projects and developments that have taken place at DHS over the past year could have happened without the support of its Old Boys. And for this, I'd like to thank all the Old Boys who have supported and continue to support DHS. Again, I'd like to ask the question, how many schools in the country can boast about the facilities and developments that have taken place at DHS over the past year? This is without referring to the extremely generous contributions that Chris Seabrook has made over the years. Chris has contributed to the upgrade of the theatre and music centre, and DHS can also boast a state-of-the-art music centre and theatre, thanks to Chris's generosity and passion. I use the word boast. However, I am extremely humbled by the generosity of so many Old Boys, too many to mention by name, who have made all these projects a reality. A special mention but also be made to the DHS Foundation and its trustees for their generous time and expertise. For DHS to continue to rise, it needs the supports of its Old Boys. So as we look forward to celebrating Founders Day this year, irrespective of where you are in the world, take a moment. Think back to your time at DHS, the memories, the characters, the lifelong friendships, the teachers, a school that you can be grateful for today. An old boy once said, although much has changed, one thing remained the same at Durban's oldest school. DHS was known as school then, and 157 years later, the old boys are still urged on by one simple word: school.